Today, we're going to dive into the incredible story of a man you've probably never heard of, but who absolutely changed American history. His name is Blanche K. Bruce, and his journey from the toughest of beginnings to the heights of power is one of the most inspiring you'll ever hear.
So let's just start with the big question. How in the world does someone born into slavery become a United States senator? I mean, it sounds almost impossible, doesn't it? But here's the thing. It actually happened. Blanche K. Bruce's story shows us what is possible, so let's get into exactly how he did it.
All right, let's dive in. To really get how amazing his achievement was, we have to go right back to the beginning of his life. A journey that started with, well, a massive hurdle, but was totally fueled by this powerful desire to learn.
So this is where it all begins. He was born into slavery, which meant that by law he wasn't a free person. It was a system of terrible injustice, and that was the world Blanche K. Bruce was born into back in 1841.
Now think about this for a second. At a time when it was actually illegal for most enslaved people to learn to read and write, Blanche K. Bruce found a way. This tells you that even as a little kid, he was determined to get an education no matter what the risk was.
His path forward from there is just remarkable. During all the chaos of the Civil War, he saw his chance and bravely escaped to freedom. But he didn't just stop there. He actually enrolled at Oberlin College in Ohio, which was one of the very first colleges to admit African-American students. And then, after his studies, he made a really big move down to Mississippi, ready to build a new life and help his community. So, picture this. Blanche is now a free, educated man living in Mississippi. This is during a period called Reconstruction, when the whole country was trying to rebuild after the Civil War. And this is where his journey as a leader really takes off.
His rise was incredibly fast, but, he didn't just jump straight to the top. He earned people's trust step by step. He took on these really important local jobs, like county sheriff and school superintendent. He was always working to make his community better, and each job just prepared him for the next, even bigger challenge.
And he wasn't just about politics either. He was also a really successful businessman. He bought land and even started his own newspaper. He was so dedicated to building a strong, self-sufficient community right from the ground up. All this hard work and dedication in Mississippi, well, it got noticed. It propelled him right onto the national stage. His next stop was Washington, D.C., where he would go on to represent all the people of his state in the United States Senate. Okay. This was a monumental moment in American history. Now, another African-American man, Hiram Revels, had served part of a term before him, but Blanche K. Bruce became the very first to be elected and serve a complete 6-year term. He wasn't just taking a seat, he was breaking down enormous barriers. And in the Senate, he delivered some really powerful speeches. This quote might sound a little formal to us now, but what he was saying is so important. He was explaining that African Americans often voted together because they were being treated unfairly as a group. But he made it clear that their goal wasn't division, it was to work together with their white fellow citizens for the good of the whole country. As a senator, he was a champion for fairness for everyone. He fought hard to protect the right to vote, which was constantly under threat. But his fight for justice went way beyond his own community. He also stood up for the fair treatment of Native Americans and Chinese immigrants. That just shows you how deeply he believed in equality for all.
Even after his historic Senate term ended, Blanche K. Bruce's story was far from over. He kept on serving his country in new and powerful ways, building a legacy that we can still see traces of today.
So after his time in the Senate, he was appointed by the president to another super important role, Register of the Treasury. This was a powerful job right at the heart of the U.S. government, making him responsible for the nation's money.
And this might be the most amazing part of his legacy. Because of this job, his actual signature was printed on all United States currency. I mean, think about that for a second. The signature of a man born into slavery was now on the money used by every single American. Wow.
When you look at his life, Blanche K. Bruce was a true trailblazer, someone who carves a path for others to follow. He achieved so many incredible firsts. The first black senator to serve a full term, the first to preside over a session of the Senate, and the first to have a signature on our money. He opened doors that have been locked for generations.
So what can we take away from his incredible life? Well, I think Blanche K. Bruce's journey teaches us a really powerful lesson, that no matter where you start from, with courage, a love for learning, and the determination to do what's right, it is absolutely possible to overcome even the biggest obstacles.
His story is such a powerful reminder that our history is just filled with these remarkable people who fought for a better world, so many of whom we just never learn about. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who are the other hidden figures out there whose stories are just waiting to be discovered? Thanks for exploring this one with us.